Carl Gustav Jung, a renowned psychologist of the 20th century and an advocate of analytical psychology, and Ibn Arabi, the prominent Sufi mystic of the 12th century, meet today in an imaginative simulation to engage in a profound debate on the nature of dreams. Our journey takes us through two iconic cities, Zurich, the birthplace of Jung's theories on the unconscious, Damascus, where Ibn Arabi spent formative years deepening his mystical understanding. In these dialogues, Jung and Ibn Arabi will clash over three fundamental questions: the origin of dreams, the interpretation of dream symbols, and the purpose of dreams. Drawing on Jung's memories, dreams, reflections, and Ibn Arabi's Futuhat al-Makkiyya, we delve into the intellectual rift between psychological interpretations of the unconscious. Join us as Carl Gustav Jung and Ibn Arabi engage in a timeless debate that transcends centuries. The debate on the origin of dreams.
Greetings, Dr. Jung. It is an honor to delve into the topic of dreams with you. In my view, dreams are not merely the workings of the subconscious, but rather manifestations of an imaginal reality, what I call al-mithāl, the world of images. This imaginal world is an intermediate reality, bridging the objective and subjective realms of existence. Dreams carry messages from God, reflecting the unseen, and thus possessing an ambiguous yet profound nature. These messages cannot be reduced to psychological or mental processes alone. Rather, they are communications from a higher reality, offering glimpses into truths beyond the physical.
Greetings, Ibn Arabi. I deeply respect your perspective. From my standpoint, dreams originate from our unconscious and are a reflection of both the personal and collective unconscious. The symbols in dreams are traces of universal archetypes that are rooted in the shared experiences of humanity. However, I am curious about your perspective that dreams are of divine origin. How can we discern the truth of this divine inspiration?
Dreams are not merely mental experiences, they are spiritual encounters with the divine. In my conception, the imaginal realm, barzakh, an intermediate state, serves as a bridge between the spiritual and material worlds. Dreams are a part of this imaginal reality, where meanings from the unseen take on forms. The clearest examples are the revelations received by prophets through dreams, which are direct teachings from God. Each dream carries a unique divine message, reflecting the individual's spiritual state and relationship with the metaphysical. This is similar to your universal archetypes, but the source is not the human psyche. It is a higher plane of existence that transcends individuality.
I acknowledge the idea of prophetic dreams and agree that they push the boundaries of human consciousness. However, in my view, such dream experiences can also be seen as the individual's connection with the collective unconscious, drawing upon the symbolism of universal archetypes. For instance, when a child dreams of a lion, why does the child sometimes feel fear and at other times feel empowered? This is due to the connection that humanity has forged with these symbols throughout evolutionary history. Yet, your concept of an imaginal realm suggests a metaphysical source that is quite intriguing. Could it be that what we perceive as archetypes are, in fact, symbols pointing to something beyond our understanding?
Exactly, Dr. Jung. The symbols we encounter in dreams are indeed layered, and their meanings can only be fully grasped when we understand the individual's spiritual journey. The lion in my dream might symbolize divine authority and protection, while in another person's dream, it might reflect personal fears or ambitions. The key distinction here is that dreams are shaped not just by subconscious impressions, but by their connection to the imaginal world, a realm where God's self-disclosure takes on forms, allowing us to experience a deeper truth. This truth cannot be fully explained by psychological constructs alone. It is a reflection of the divine within the confines of human perception.
Your emphasis on the imaginal realm adds a profound dimension to the nature of dreams. In my work, I have often observed that symbols in dreams arise from deep within the collective unconscious, representing fears, desires, and potentials shared by all of humanity. The lion, for example, is not just an animal, but an archetype representing both the danger and majesty we perceive in the world around us. It resonates with something deep within us, a primordial force that has been shaped by our evolution as a species. Yet, I wonder, can the same symbol carry different meanings depending on one's spiritual path, as you suggest?
Indeed, Dr. Jung. The imaginal realm is not limited to a single interpretation of symbols. It is a world that is inherently ambiguous, existing between the seen and unseen, and this ambiguity allows for symbols to carry multiple context-dependent meanings. The lion might symbolize different things to different individuals precisely because it exists in this intermediary space. The imaginal is where corporeal forms and spiritual meanings intersect, and it is through dreams that we engage with this interplay. To me, understanding dreams requires acknowledging both the psychological and metaphysical aspects, with divine inspiration providing the ultimate guidance.
This distinction is indeed profound. I believe that the individual's personal history and psychological state shape the content and interpretation of their dreams. The collective unconscious provides the symbols, but the personal unconscious gives them specific meaning. However, your view adds a new dimension, that the divine directly influences these dreams. This raises an important question. To what extent do we allow for divine inspiration in shaping human experiences? Perhaps this is where the intersection of psychology and spirituality lies, in understanding that dreams can be both reflections of our inner world and bridges to something greater.
The debate on the interpretation of dream symbols.
Picking up from where we left off, Ibn Arabi, I find your interpretation of symbols particularly fascinating. You suggest that symbols in dreams are influenced by an imaginal realm and carry meanings that are highly dependent on one's spiritual journey. I, however, see symbols as rooted in universal archetypes that emerge from the collective unconscious. These archetypes are not limited to a specific culture or belief system. They represent common human experiences, like the mother, the hero, or the shadow. When we interpret a dream, we are essentially decoding these archetypes. How do you reconcile this universal aspect of human symbolism with the deeply individual and spiritual nature that you attribute to dreams?
Dr. Jung, your conception of archetypes resonates with the idea that symbols have a certain universality, but I believe that the imaginal realm introduces a dynamic layer of meaning. Symbols may indeed have universal qualities, as they often draw from shared human experiences. However, the imaginal world, or al-mithāl, serves as a bridge where these symbols acquire deeply personal spiritual meanings. Take, for example, the symbol of water. In your understanding, water might represent the unconscious, flowing and ever-changing, reflecting the depths of the psyche. In my view, water can also symbolize divine knowledge, purity, and the journey towards spiritual awakening. It is not merely a psychological construct, but a vessel of divine meaning that shifts according to the spiritual state of the dreamer.
The idea of water as both a psychological symbol and a spiritual element is certainly compelling. In analytical psychology, water is often associated with the unconscious, representing both the dangers and the potential for rebirth that lie within our subconscious depths. It carries the promise of renewal, but also the risk of being overwhelmed by what we do not understand. Yet, I see that your interpretation incorporates a sacred dimension. Water as divine knowledge. This sacred perspective adds a nuance that psychological analysis alone might miss. But how do we determine whether the interpretation of a symbol is rooted in personal psychology or inspired by divine communication?
The answer lies in the openness of the soul to divine inspiration. When an individual dreams, they are not just processing unconscious thoughts, but are also potentially receiving messages from God. The imaginal realm allows for these symbols to have layered meanings, which require discernment to be fully understood. For instance, a person with a deeply contemplative and pure heart might dream of water and receive insight that leads them closer to divine truths. On the other hand, someone struggling with inner conflicts might see the same water and interpret it as an indication of their subconscious fears. It is the spiritual preparedness of the individual that determines the source and depth of the symbol's meaning.
This preparedness of the soul that you speak of is akin to what I would call individuation, the process of integrating the conscious and unconscious aspects of the self. Perhaps the divine inspiration you mention is another layer of this individuation process, where the spiritual and psychological are intertwined. The symbols in dreams might indeed have both a universal psychological meaning and a unique spiritual significance that depends on one's openness to something greater. The challenge, then, is how we as interpreters of dreams navigate these layers without dismissing either the psychological or the spiritual dimension.
Precisely, Dr. Jung. The imaginal realm offers a meeting point between the psychological and the divine. Symbols in dreams are multidimensional, and their interpretation requires a holistic understanding that incorporates the universal, personal, and spiritual. It is this complexity that makes dreams such a profound part of the human experience, an experience that is at once psychological, existential, and deeply sacred. Dreams are bridges, not only between our conscious and unconscious, but also between our earthly and divine realities. Recognizing the interplay between these dimensions is crucial to truly understanding their messages.
The debate on the purpose of dreams.
Ibn Arabi, I find our discussion so far illuminating, particularly in how dreams serve as bridges between different realms of human experience. This naturally brings me to the question of the ultimate purpose of dreams. In my view, dreams serve as a means of personal integration, what I term individuation. This process involves the unification of conscious and unconscious elements of the psyche, allowing the individual to become whole, to reconcile inner conflicts, and to integrate the shadow. Dreams are a crucial part of this journey towards self-realization, but you seem to emphasize a greater, even transcendent purpose for dreams. Do you see dreams primarily as tools for spiritual awakening rather than psychological healing?
Indeed, Dr. Jung, while I respect the idea of personal integration, I see dreams as having a deeper spiritual significance. Dreams, in my understanding, are not merely a tool for reconciling inner conflicts, but are an avenue through which the soul is guided towards its ultimate purpose, spiritual awakening and union with the divine. The imaginal realm through which dreams manifest allows the dreamer to receive divine messages, providing insights that are beyond the realm of the intellect. This is a process of unveiling, where the veils of illusion are lifted and the true nature of existence is revealed to the dreamer. It is not simply about integrating different parts of oneself, but about transcending the self to glimpse the divine reality.
I can appreciate the depth of your perspective, and I find the idea of transcending the self intriguing. However, I would argue that even this spiritual journey you describe requires psychological work. The process of individuation, for example, often involves confronting one's shadow, the parts of oneself that are repressed or denied. It is through dreams that these unconscious elements are brought to light, allowing for a deeper understanding of oneself. Without this psychological groundwork, I wonder if true spiritual awakening is even possible. Can we really transcend ourselves if we haven't first fully understood and accepted who we are?
You raise an important point, Dr. Jung. Self-knowledge is indeed essential, and in the Sufi tradition, we say, "He who knows himself knows his Lord." Dreams play a critical role in this self-knowledge, revealing both the shadow aspects that need purification and the divine attributes that the soul aspires to embody. However, while psychological integration is a necessary step, it is not the final destination. The ultimate purpose of dreams is to guide the soul beyond itself, to awaken to the presence of God within all things. This awakening is not just an intellectual realization, but a profound lived experience of unity. Dreams serve as a vehicle for this journey, offering glimpses of the divine, and encouraging the dreamer to move beyond personal limitations.
I see. So, in your view, dreams are a means of both personal purification and spiritual transcendence. Perhaps there is more overlap between our perspectives than it initially seemed. In analytical psychology, individuation is not just about integrating different aspects of the psyche, but also about connecting with something greater, what I might call the self, an archetype representing wholeness and the totality of the psyche. This self could be seen as analogous to the divine spark you describe, a part of us that is connected to the greater reality. Dreams, then, are not only a path to understanding ourselves, but also a way to connect with the transcendent. The question remains, though, how do we ensure that this journey is balanced, that we are not overwhelmed by either the psychological or the spiritual dimensions?
Balance is indeed crucial, Dr. Jung. In the Sufi path, we strive for a balance between the inward and outward, the personal and the divine. Dreams offer us guidance on how to achieve this balance by revealing what is hidden, whether it is a shadow that needs integration or a divine message that requires contemplation. The key is to approach dreams with humility, recognizing that they carry both psychological insights and spiritual truths. By doing so, we allow ourselves to be transformed not only at the level of the psyche, but also at the level of the soul. The imaginal realm serves as the intermediary, ensuring that our journey is neither purely introspective nor solely transcendent, but a harmonious integration of both.
This concludes our exploration into the timeless debate between Carl Gustav Jung and Ibn Arabi on the nature, interpretation, and purpose of dreams. Their perspectives highlight the deep interplay between psychology and spirituality, emphasizing how dreams can guide us toward both personal wholeness and spiritual transcendence. Dreams, as understood by Jung and Ibn Arabi, are not only reflections of our inner selves, but also bridges to a greater reality that calls us beyond ourselves. For those interested in further reading on this topic, the sources used in this video can be accessed via the link in the top corner. Thank you for spending your time with us at Attic. We look forward to sharing our next journey with you.